had my YouTube channel. I ended it at some point because I didn't want to be on screen anymore. I don't like the publicity, right? A lot of people fall into that category. You don't want to be on camera. So here is how you do it, okay? You partner up with people who are attempting to be influencers or who are micro influencers, and you partner with them as a share of revenue and try to get them to get more followers and make more money. So a great example of this is podcasts. So you can be a podcast producer, find someone in your network. Maybe this is a friend that you went to school with or someone that you know through work who has recently launched a podcast, and maybe it's relatively small, they're not doing well, but you see some potential. You can partner with them, say that you will be their producer, you will help them film the videos, you will edit the videos, you will get them guests on their podcast, and in return, you get maybe 20% or 30% of the income from what that podcast produces. Okay. And so what you're doing, you're basically the manager behind the scenes, pulling the strings, operating things, and making money without having to actually be on camera. I think there's a lot of opportunity here. And I think it's because you can do this with multiple different influencers or podcasts all at the same time. So it's more leverage versus if you're just going to go out and be an influencer yourself. I think this is one of the most overlooked strategies and techniques for social media in 2025. I can do a full deep dive on this video if you'd like to hear more about it and like the ideas behind this, because you could either do a revenue share where you're getting 20-30% of the revenue from that influencer for managing and operating everything, getting the brand deals, or you can do a flat fee, which I don't know if I would recommend as much, but you can do a flat fee, charge them $500 a month, and in return, you're operating their podcast, you're putting out TikToks for them, and you're doing all the editing and putting it out there for them on a flat fee basis. I think the revenue share is a lot more lucrative. So I can go full video on that and give like a 30-minute breakdown on exactly how I would operate that business in the next year, but I really think you can do it. Even if you don't know a lot of influencers out there, you can cold DM, you can cold email micro influencers, people who you think have potential, and help them to get off the ground and really take it to the next level. I really think anyone could do this year. Okay, now let's talk about the next business idea. But before
Are you worried that using your home address for business puts your privacy at risk? At iPostal One, we can help. So, you've started your...
Hi, I'm Josh Ellsworth with Stalls and Stalls Transfer Express, and thanks so much for tuning into this video, How to Start Your Own T-Shirt Business from Home. I've helped thousands of T-shirt entrepreneurs get started and make money with a heat press. A heat press is a high-profit machine, and I'm going to prove it to you in this video and show you how to generate your own income from a spare bedroom, a garage, maybe even a living room or a kitchen. I've seen it all visiting different customers. And it all starts with a technology called a screen printed transfer. At Stalls, we have a division called Transfer Express that manufactures screen printed transfers that get heat applied with a heat press in 4 seconds or less. It's really phenomenal. And you can make so much money with just a small machine like a heat press. A shirt like this, including the garment, the labor, and the transfer, I can print easily for $7 or less. You can sell these all day for a minimum of $12, possibly much more. If you're like me and you like math, that's $5 in profit for every shirt that you print. And you can print 50 of these shirts in less than an hour, generating $250 in income. All you need to do is learn how to order the right transfer, make sure you have an accurate press, and make sure you have customers that you can sell to. I'm going to help you with all 3 of those things over the course of this video. And I'd like to start by explaining the 5 most popular heat transfer types that you can print from home. Let's get started with screen printed transfers. Screen printing is still one of the most popular technologies for decorating apparel at retail. And as a business, you should be interested in mimicking that look with your heat press. With screen printed transfers such as this goof-proof transfer from Transfer Express, you're getting actual plastisol ink, the same stuff that's used in screen printing, onto a paper carrier. The benefit of this is you can group up multiple images onto one sheet as long as they're utilizing the same colors. You can order these and they start to make sense once you hit 15 shirts or more. You receive them in, all you do is trim them apart and heat apply. The finished result on the garment feels great. Just like screen printing, this is the easiest way to decorate t-shirts with a heat press. The second way I want to show you to heat press a shirt is with transfer vinyl. We call it CAD-COM. This product is especially popular because you can do extremely low quantities cost effectively, as little as 1, and personalization, which is really popular right now. You can buy this by the roll, load it into what's called a vinyl cutter. They're desktop or industrial units. You cut your vector design in the mirror image, weed away the excess, and you get your pieces ready to press. So unlike screen printed transfers where we're getting everything, all of the colors on one transfer sheet and they apply at once, when you're working with multiple colors in heat transfer vinyl, we need to layer. So we cut each roll, each color separately, piece them together on the shirt at the press, and finish the job. Because of these steps involved, this isn't ideal for very fine detail artwork because we need to complete the weeding process, and you really want to keep your color count down. But one of the biggest benefits of heat transfer vinyl is the range of special effects, from reflective to glitter to metallics to foils. There's so many finishes that you can complete on a heat press with heat transfer vinyl. The third way I want to show you to decorate apparel with your heat press is print cut heat transfer vinyl. It's a little bit different than standard heat transfer vinyl because in this case, the material just comes to you in clear or white. You actually need to have a printer cutter, solvent, latex, one of these large format machines to be able to print all of the colors that you need onto the vinyl. Now, the benefit of this is I can do as many colors as I want onto a transfer without increasing my cost. No more layering involved, just print, cut, weed, mask, and then you're ready to heat apply. Print cut heat transfer vinyl comes in many different styles, and it's great from everything from t-shirts to athletic wear, and there are special effect finishes such as glitter that you can use with the process. If your design has 3 or more colors and it's a low quantity, you're going to want to look at print and cut heat transfer vinyl to complete the job. Option number 4, and this is one I'm really excited about because it's brand new technology for 2020. We call it a digital screen printed transfer. So in the past, we've had to use pre-cut heat transfer vinyl for jobs, sizes that really weren't ideal for printing, cutting, weeding, masking, completing all the steps that we just talked about. Or maybe there was too much detail in the design that I didn't want to weed in. And so we have screen printed transfers, we have digital, which means printing's involved, and so we have this digital screen printed transfer. Now you can get a heat transfer that combines the best of both worlds, digital printing and screen printing, allowing for fine detail, cost savings as you go up in quantity, and lots of opportunity for multiple colors all on one sheet. Through different designs, single step application, I love this technology for decorating t-shirts, performance wear, and more. Okay, I want to take a brief time out now that you've reviewed what I call the core 4 print technologies for heat transfer. Believe it or not, those 4 print methods that you just learned a little bit about are going to be used for, I would say, 95% or more of the jobs that you're going to want to print in your business. And so the natural question is, how do I decide which one to use? We've given you some baseline understanding, but there has to be an easy way to process this. And so just to give you a little background and some context, I was sitting in a room, it was probably about 2 years ago, with some of the largest contract decorators in our industry out at our Transfer Express West facility in Arizona. Over the course of a couple days, we were talking about a lot of topics, but one of the topics that came up, one of their challenges was, how do I equip my salespeople to quickly select the right transfer product so we can do a quote quickly and we can order the right product quickly, and there's some consistency to how we're doing this. And so here's what we came up with. It's a what to use when grid. And these big dogs, these experts, they're using
Don't take the time to find it.
Because
I'll-
because if you're taking that much time, there's a reason.
Right.
Who
and
am I to be?
when I'm looking at all the facts, the figures, the charts, it's not giving.
Opened a door. Where do I say really? Like, where do I even?
You're speaking out, and does the handle rattle? Does it shake?
Who are you?
Yeah,
Are you a ghost?
Give me my numbers, right?
And that's really where you come in with business. So thank
I
you.
hope that helps.
Yep.
This is a swing away heat press machine, and this is where you put your materials that you want to print on. This releases, and this is a hot plate that will press the designs onto a t-shirt or mug. This goes all the way down. There's different settings and different temperature and time that you can set on. These are all the different transfer parameters, so you can use t-shirts, pillows, caps, crystals. You can print on all different types of mugs and plates. These are the attachments. This is an attachment for a mug. This is an attachment for the top of a hat. This is an attachment for another mug. This is to help with the mugs, and this is where the attachments go. And this is another part of the machine. This is for plates, and all of these attachments help print different designs onto different types of things. So after turning the machine on, this machine is already defaulted to t-shirt settings, so you can use any t-shirt. First, you swing this out, and this completely swings out, which is a hot plate. To place it while that's heating up, you're gonna press it to avoid any moisture, and this will swing back out, and this is where you can put any designs that you're gonna heat press. So now this is beeping, it's ready, and the temperature is set. So first you have to pull this all the way down and press it onto the t-shirt once. This is just to avoid any moisture or wrinkles on the t-shirt when you're pressing your design, and it makes it smooth. This part actually helps change the pressure when you're pulling this down, but this machine is defaulted to t-shirt settings, so I'm not going to change the pressure. And now you're ready to start your things that you want to heat press. You're going to put a Teflon sheet on top. This protects the rest of the t-shirt from getting burnt. Align this back and just press down. Okay, so now it's going to be really hot, so you have to be careful, but you swing this back out and remove your Teflon sheet. So now I've pulled the hot plate out after removing the Teflon sheet. There's a transparent film on top, and you can peel this away from all layers. There's two different types of vinyls. So there's a cold vinyl and a hot vinyl. Hot vinyl you can remove right now instantly, and the cold one you can let it cool off. This depends on the vinyl that you use, and this peels away to show you the design. So this is the t-shirt. This is what we have. The print is on and doesn't come off, and you have to leave the t-shirt for 24 hours before washing it and using it.
addition, you can see this is where the power cord goes, and you do have a circuit breaker right here on the side so that you can reset the machine right from here on its separate panel. This is the power switch, and this is where you'll control the temperature. Right here is where you will connect your hoses so that you can plug and unplug the connectors for each one of your attachments. As I mentioned, this is an 8-in-1 machine. So not only can you connect this for t-shirts, which is the default option where you will just go ahead and press forward and the plate will be lowered, but you can go ahead and set the temperature and adjust the thickness for mugs, caps, and so on. You get so many different mug attachments, from a 9-ounce attachment to this cone shaped attachment. So if your mug that you're designing has a smaller bottom, you can go ahead and place it in here and it will fit perfectly. You get a taller one for tumblers. Here's your cap attachment, and all of these connector hoses are what power up your attachments, just like this one is plugged into the machine. This is the additional attachment for all of your mugs, and you can see that has a connector hose as well. I have a mug in here. This is just a standard size mug, so I just placed it in here. And the way that you change these out is just by turning these little knobs, so it's really super easy to go ahead and change these out. So once you attach this and put your mug in place, you're going to use the lever, and it's just going to go ahead and apply pressure to your mug to make sure that your print gets adhered to your mug with that thermal heat. Here is an additional attachment for plates, and what this is that this is a thick foam piece so that you can put your design and then put this over it to protect your plate. You also get thermal tape, and you get the additional heated papers in a big pack so that you have enough in order to do as many as you want, and that will just protect your design. The manual is really easy to read. It's also very visual, and I find it extremely useful. So although this is a professional grade machine, it's super easy to use at home, and I love the fact that it has a small blueprint, so I'm able to use it on my desk, on my dining room table, in my garage, or wherever I prefer to use it. I really enjoy it. I love all the attachments, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I do.
Yeah.
Using my brand new heat press, you can see. First shirt made. Yes, sir. Using my brand new heat press, you can see.
I chose Wix for my business because of its massive scope for.
What's going on, everyone? Mario here with Nego Prints. In today's video, I'm going to be answering one of the questions that I have received most ever. This is literally the #1 question that is on my printer videos, and just overall the question that people actually message me. Like, they actually message me to ask me this. And that is, what's the best printer for my business? What's the best printer I can use? What's the best printer out there, period, that I can use for my business, for my t-shirts, and literally anything else? Well, before I answer that, I want to remind all of you that, remember, I haven't been mentioning it too much, but at 10,000 subscribers, I am going to be doing a giveaway for some DTF prints, some screen print transfers, and a heat press, a 15 by 15 heat press. I have an extra heat press here that I never used because it just came with my old DTG printer. So I'm going to be giving it to one of you to help you start your t-shirt business. So if you want that, make sure you hit that subscribe button, make sure you like this video, make sure you share this video, and make sure you share all of my other videos. We need to hit 10K subscribers before I give out the official rules to actually enter that giveaway. And with that, let's go ahead and get started. Right off the bat, I'm going to tell you straight up, there is no best printer. You can't really hunker down to one specific printer because everyone's needs are different. What you need might be a lot different than what I need. I know for sure that a lot of people, they absolutely love DTG. They will swear by the method. I thought it was great. It was awesome. But at the end of the day, it didn't really work out for me because my business did not need a DTG printer. As most of you know, I actually found that out the hard way by pretty much losing $17,000. Oh God. But if you want more information on that, if you want to check out the whole story, check out this video right here. In it, I explain everything about the DTG printer and why it didn't work for me. But ever since I came out with that video, I've had a lot of people messaging me and telling me, so DTG printers suck. What do you recommend? First off, I need to clear one thing up. DTG printers don't suck. They just didn't work out for me. DTG printers in general are actually pretty good. They're good for mass production. They're good for one-offs. They're good for full color prints. But it needs to be ran consistently, and that did not work for me. So again, remember, it all depends on your business needs and your personal needs. Mainly your business needs. So with that being said, what can we recommend? What can we do to actually find out what works best for us? Well, first, you need to take a step back and you need to figure out, what do I need? Do I need something that prints full color? Do I need something that only does single colors? Am I not really focusing on, full color prints? What am I doing?
There were really two areas in.
You've probably heard of every online business model under the sun, right? You've heard of SMMA, you've heard of the Automation AI Agency, you've heard of IPGA, you've heard of growth operating, you've heard of drop shipping, you've heard of affiliate marketing, you've heard of Amazon FBA, all of these business models that seem to be saturated and overdone and oversold. And so what I'm going to do in this video is give you 3 trending businesses that I think are going to blow up in the next couple of months so that you can become successful and make a heap of money. What I'm also going to do in this video is give you 30 other business ideas that you before and never thought of before, because what I want to start encouraging you to do is thinking outside the box and going above and beyond the boundaries set by these modern day business influencers so you can become more successful and make more money. Let's get into it. So the first one is the personal branding agency. I think that what's going to happen in the next year or two is we are going to see a 10-fold increase in the number of entrepreneurs and people who want to build a personal brand online to sell things. And as with any market, if there's an exponential increase in demand, it's going to take a while for the supply to catch up. And what that means is that the market is hungry. There are millions and millions of entrepreneurs who want to build personal brands but do not know how, either don't have the time or the expertise or the knowledge. And so if you learn how to do this for other people and you branded people up, I think that's going to work incredibly well. The reason I have so much confidence this is about to take off is A, because of the impact it's had on my business and my personal brand and what I've seen, but B, we're only just starting to notice now.
So you think you know Wix? Do you really? First up, we've got Shake.
Celebrities flocking to the online personal branding space. So Cristiano Ronaldo has now got a YouTube channel. And Tom Brady has now just started a YouTube blog and a YouTube channel as well. And all these other celebrities are coming from far and wide to capitalize on this attention economy. And as that happens, we're seeing loads and loads of a massive flood of online entrepreneurs coming into it. So for example, what you could do is you could work with realtors in the United States of America, and you could help them with their Instagram profiles, TikTok profiles to help them sell more houses in the local area using organic traffic like this. Another example I can give you is on the short form space. I know on TikTok and Instagram Reels and stuff, there's a guy that has a pool cleaning business in the UK, and he uses these platforms to grow his pool cleaning business. I've seen it as well with people that have lawn mowing businesses in local areas. So this is on the cusp of massive exponential growth, and if you're there right now, just before it happens, and you get really good at this in the next 6 to 12 months, by the time the next couple of years roll around, you're going to be perfectly positioned to capitalize on this market. So the second market or space or business model that I think is going to absolutely explode and go wildly ballistic in the next couple of years is the community management space. And what's going to happen here, and the thing that's going to spearhead this space being appropriate, is School. So if you haven't heard of School before, it's a social media platform that is on its exponential growth curve, and it's bringing a market with it. It's bringing opportunity with it. And as School grows and develops, and it's this community management platform, what's going to happen is loads of entrepreneurs and loads of business people and loads of normal people are going to start to host paid communities. And this is already happening. School's got tens of thousands of people who are paying money to be in these communities, and everyone's starting to find community on. And everything around that space at all, and bringing that knowledge to people who have these online communities, whether it's through School or something else, and implementing the knowledge of community management. And I know that this is something that people would pay for, because I've got a community online that I use for my clients, and I would pay someone who was really good at this to manage my community, because it makes the overall client experience better, it increases retention of the community, it makes more people want to join. And so if you can nail this, and you can build a done-for-you service where you come into people's communities and manage them and, police them and delete posts that shouldn't be there and create culture, this thing's going to go absolutely wild and ballistic, and it's going to make you a ton of money if you get it early. I have a third agency that I think is going to be absolutely insane to start as a podcast agency. Now, you probably thought I was going to write an AI agency here, but the reason I chose not to write an AI agency is because it's so bloody obvious, and you've probably already thought of it or heard of it before, and I want to give you new ideas. Why is a podcast agency going to be a good idea to start? Well, this is I'm aware that it's kind of similar to the personal branding agency, but what we're observing is everyone and their nan is starting a podcast. Everyone wants to begin a podcast. We've all listened to The Diary of a CEO, we've all listened to Joe Rogan, we've all been listening to these podcasts, and this is kind of a knock-on effect of this thing here. So the personal brand space is going to go absolutely ballistic. And the good news is that if this goes ballistic, then also the community management thing will go ballistic, and also the podcasting will go ballistic. So the reason the community management thing is about to go absolutely nuts is because this thing's going to go nuts, and all these personal brand people are going to capitalize on their communities by selling community, if that makes sense. But when that all happens, there's also going to be podcasts. So I'm observing this where, if you actually look at the number of podcasts that are being started and created, it is
Look at you, putting in work. You a hustler. Look at your calendar, booked and busy. So you gotta know where your...
What do you like better, business or real estate?
Well, the last 4 or 5 years, I probably like real estate better. But with business, you can make big money right away. My businesses all make 20, 30, 40, 50,000. Some of the good ones, hundreds of thousands a month.
What do you think is the number one skill a business needs?
The number one skill is...
Now, what's up, Wealth Builders? Today, I've got someone who's been on before. The episode crushed it. We talked about how to buy businesses, how you could start a ton of different things. This dude was doing axe throwing, escape rooms. He just bought a tree service company, and he's about to go into the service-based buying business. He's also in real estate, lending money. This dude's doing it all. I got Abraham Gray. What's up?
What's going on? Good to be back.
Yeah. We were both really surprised how well the first one did, so I knew we had to run it back, baby.
Yeah, that was crazy. I was like, I watched, I was like, damn, this one did a lot better than I expected.
Yeah. So, give people some quick feedback about who you are who didn't see that episode.
Yeah, so Abraham Gray, I am 49 now, and I started my first business when I was 15. I made a lot of money in my teens, saved $1 million by the time I was 19, and then
That's crazy.
Yeah, and this is back in 1990. So,
That's the craziest part.
Yeah.
$1 million cash.
$1 million cash. I never blew money. I always saved it, reinvested it. And then just went from business to business, got into a lot of fad type businesses, just stuff that was hot at the time. Made $10 million, $50 million, more and more. And then eventually, started buying real estate back in 1998. Right now I have over 220 properties, close to 300 doors that I keep long term.
Yeah.
I do tons of fix and flips, do a lot of lending. That's pretty much what it is. I'm always looking for more businesses. Business has been my passion ever since I was 15.
Yeah. What do you like better, business or real estate?
Well, the last 4 or 5 years, I probably like real estate better, but the size of those last 5 years, I would say I probably like business better. I'm gonna eventually probably like business better again because business is, you can just make so much more money so much faster in business. My average, property right now, my fix and flip is probably making in the $30,000 range.
Yeah.
My average, but it's a lot of work every time you do it. You have to recreate it every time.
Yeah.
My average buy and hold, is making a few $100 a month. I have a lot of them, so it adds up. But it's a grind, The way you make a ton of money on buy and holds is not really by owning them and cash flowing. You make a lot of money when you sell them.
Yep.
That's how I made all my money on all my buy and holds. Luckily, I've had stuff since 1998. As I sell them, that's where I make the big money. But with business, you can make big money right away. Like my businesses all make 20, 30, 40, 50,000, some of the good ones, in the hundreds of thousands a month. And you can just do that over and over and over. And once you have everything in place, it's not a grind anymore. It just keeps going. You have other people in charge.
Yeah. So what are some of the businesses in your portfolio right now?
So right now, like you said, I have a whole bunch of escape rooms still. A lot of axe throwing companies. I have a golf place. I have a whole bunch of trophy stores, 6 different trophy stores, engraving. I have a bunch of different real estate businesses, tree company. I have a whole lot of martial art gyms, arts and crafts studios. It's kind of like a little bit all over the place, but I am gonna start focusing a lot on home service stuff.
Yeah.
So next year you're gonna see me acquire a lot of home service stuff. I have like a lot of crews that work for me full time with my fix and flips, and when I'm not using them, I have them do other stuff. But, we do painting, really anything, flooring.
Yeah. So would you say it's more like a GC?
Wix gives you the power of AI to build the website you need with full business functionality.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna buy, exact businesses that only do, fences or only do landscaping or only do paint, and I'll have, HVAC companies. So I'll basically accumulate a whole lot. That's kind of my game plan for.
Are you gonna do it everywhere or just in Atlanta?
I'm gonna start off just doing it in Atlanta because it's really easy for me. I'm there. I have all my connections, all my people there. But potentially down the road, I have partners in other places. It might make sense to grow it to other cities.
Got it. So are most of your businesses in Atlanta or?
So actually, no. Most of the businesses that I've acquired lately and that I am actually in charge of, I would say yes, are in Atlanta. But I have lots of partners in a lot of my businesses. I would say 90+% of my businesses I have partners, and I have the businesses where my partners are. So I have businesses in Kansas City, I have Chicago, New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Florida, really all over Arizona.
So what's your role? If they're over there operating, what did you do in the deal?
Yeah. So my role is always to find the deals, underwrite them, negotiate them, and talk to the sellers, work out the how we're going to do it. Because I don't pay cash for anything. I always get good creative deals. So I work out all that, the terms and everything. And then once I have that done, my partner usually handles the operations, and he's not really in the locations, but he is in charge of the managers. And then a lot of times I have a third partner and that will handle like accounting, marketing, anything legal, stuff like that. So it's broken up just based on who my partner is and what they're good at.
Okay. So would you say most of those businesses you bought them or you built?
So all like the trendy fad stuff, I built most of that, and I bought some competitors at some point. But most of I would say every business I have that's not like a fad or a trend or something like new, I bought all those. It's really stupid to start a business, honestly, unless it's something that you see doesn't exist and is doing really well in other cities, other states, other countries. Then those are worth trying. But besides that, you should definitely buy someone's business.
Yeah. I've done a lot of different businesses, and I've actually just always started them.
Yeah.
But I'm in a kind of a different boat with brand and online and stuff like that. But yeah, the more I've thought about it, it's like it's interesting because I separate real estate and normal business, right? Because with real estate, it's like you don't really need to buy a business. Like it's just anyone can start today and start your business. Whereas everything else, like you want a home service company? Well, it's hard to go get those clients, to get the people, the equipment. Like you're just so much more fast track buying it versus like with real estate. Back to that, it's like you don't need anything.
Right. Exactly. So all the businesses that I didn't start that it's real estate related. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to buy somebody else's wholesale business. You can start your own. Like what are you buying exactly?
Yeah.
What you have is incredible. Like you can't buy that off someone. I mean, this is your brand. This is your program, everything else. That's something that you gotta be good at, you gotta be smart, you gotta know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And this is something, why you would start it.
Right. So, why home services? Why is that the next arena?
I like home services a lot because I think that it's always gonna be needed. No matter what, people live in a house or rent a house, and everyone needs stuff fixed all the time. When the economy is really good, people are building tons of homes, so that's needed. Plus, because I'm in real estate, I could use those companies to save me money on my own stuff. So I could give these new companies I buy a lot of business, and vice versa. I could now potentially cut some costs because I have a business that can do it on a larger scale.
Mm. So, what do you think is like the most lucrative business you currently own?
It changes, based on the economy and stuff. But for a long time, it was my entertainment stuff. The axe throwing and escape rooms were making like crazy money. I mean, I had months where each location was making a minimum $50,000 to $150,000 profit, like each location. And I had 17, axe throwing, 16 escape rooms. So that's a lot. But after COVID, that kind of came down a lot, and then some of my real estate stuff picked up and was doing a lot better. But if you count the lending as a business, I would say the lending's probably making the most now. That makes like a lot of money. It's so needed, and it's I set such a good system together in place that it works really well, and I have somebody else run it off.
So, explain the lending business that works.
Yeah, the lending business, basically, I'm lending money to people that need money for fix and flips.
Right.
So anyone that's buying fix and flips, it's instead of going to a hard money lender, I'm basically a private money lender, and I loan to everyone in Georgia, mostly Atlanta, but definitely anywhere in Georgia. And I am loaning them at, let's say, 18% annually, and I'm paying my investors or using my own money. And if I'm paying investors, I'm paying them 10, 12%. So I'm making 50, 65% on every loan, and the people keep the loans going. And I buy so many fix and flips in Atlanta every single month that I know the market better than anyone.
Right.
And I know what I can lend. So I lend the amount that I know if someone doesn't pay me, I'm more than happy to take the property back, and then I'll fix and flip it myself. So my default rate's like almost nothing. I've probably done a few thousand loans over the last 5 years. And I've only had to actually foreclose and take over 2 properties. But when I took them over, I ended up making an extra 25, 30.
You made more.
Oh yeah, I made more. I've started the foreclosure process probably, I don't know, maybe like 15, 20 times. But all the other times, people came up with the money before the foreclosure or sold me the house or something. They have too much equity, and I know what the homes are worth. You loan them the right amount, they're gonna pay.
What's your usual loan to value ratio?
80%. So I'm paying in Atlanta 80% minus like rehab. So if a home is worth 100,000 fixed up, and it needs 50,000 to get it ready. So I'm basing it as is at 50,000, and then I'm taking 80% of that. So I'll loan like 40,000, let's say, on something like that. Using small numbers to make it easy.
Yeah. So how would they get the rehab costs? They got to cover that.
So most of the people that I lend to have some money. So they use their own money for rehab, or they get a second position loan.
Got it.
But you don't want to lend to people that are flat broke. That's where you're gonna have problems. So most of the people I lend to want to just do multiple rehabs at a time. So they have enough money to do one or two.